Hey everyone! Welcome back YouTube. How's everyone doing? In today's video, we're going to be talking about my top 5 favorite Generation 3 Pokemon. Why? Because Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire have been announced, so I think it's appropriate to venture back into the past and see which one is my personal opinion on the top 5 best Pokemon from Gen 3. And when I mean Gen 3, I don't mean Fire Red and Leaf Green, the remakes for Red and Blue, I mean Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. So, anyways, just a disclaimer, this is my opinion, so, you know, it's just my opinion. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, if you disagree, that's fine, but it's my opinion. So, I mean, everyone is entitled to their own, so that's cool. Anyways, don't get offended if your, favorite Pokemon is not on this list. Anyways, let's get started. Number 5. Salamence. This amazing badass dragon from Gen 3 is my number 5 favorite Pokemon. The only reason it's not number 1, and it's probably a big reason, is because you get it so late in the game, I think, and it takes for level 50 for it to be fully evolved. So, it's a badass dragon. It's a pseudo-legendary with, I think, base stats of 600. So this thing has high special attack and high attack. So it's a monster. This thing is a beast. It's definitely on my top 5 for that reason, because after the Gen 1 Dragonite and then Gen 2 we got Tyranitar. This seems to be the iconic pseudo-legendary from Generation 3. So that's not much else you can say. It's a badass dragon. Look at those wings. That's so cool. Look at the fang. It just wants to eat children. That is what Salamence is about, eating children. Number 4. Metagross. Now, there are a couple of reasons why Metagross is in my top 5 selection for my favorite Pokemon. First of all, its egg group is mineral. Ruby and Sapphire, they're minerals. So I thought it was pretty cool how it fitted in to the titles of the games. I think Steel Psychic is an awesome type as well. We really got to see a lot of cool Steel types coming in from Generation 3 along with Skarmory. And, what really pushed Metagross into my top 5 was because of his Pokédex entry. The Pokédex entry states, Metagross has 4 brains in total. Combined, the 4 brains can breeze through difficult calculations faster than a supercomputer. This Pokemon can float in the air by tucking in its 4 legs. So not only can it float, it's a freaking brainiac. So Metagross definitely worthy of being in anybody's top 5 Pokemon. Number 3. Gardevoir. Now, does anyone remember the beginning of your adventures of Ruby and Sapphire? You remember Wally? Yeah, Wally. Yeah, he got a Route. Not only that, but he got it from the Pokemon that our dad gave to him for him to allow to capture it. So it was a Route, and it was one of the coveted Pokemon from Generation 3 in the early game. Gardevoir is a brilliant Pokemon, and coming from a guy who played Generation 3, I didn't have a lot of people to trade with, so I could get Alakazam, and so I really enjoy the Psychic types. And Gardevoir even has a cool Pokédex entry. Standing in the Ruby entry, Gardevoir has the ability to read the future. If it senses impending danger to its trainer, this Pokemon is said to unleash its psychokinetic energy at full power. So not only that, it's a helpful Pokemon. It wants to protect its trainer. Even in the Sapphire entry, it says it has a psychokinetic power to distort the dimensions and create a small black hole. It will try to protect its trainer even at the risk of its own life. If that Pokemon does not deserve to be in the top 5, then I don't know who else would be. Number 2. Blaziken. My top 2 Pokemon from Generation 3, and number 2 goes to Blaziken for several reasons. First of all, up until Generation 4 I was using the fire starters in all my playthroughs, so I had Charizard, Typhlosion, and then naturally I picked Torchic. At the time I didn't know it evolved into a firefighting, but this was the first firefighting before we got Infernape and then Embar. Thank God Fennekin was not firefighting, otherwise I would have had a field day. Anyways, it was your starter Pokemon, so I always feel one of your starters always have to be in the top 5 from that generation. It's not mandatory, but this one was definitely cool enough to be in it by itself, even if it was not a starter. After that I started using more water types for my starters, but Blaziken was the first fire starter that I picked on my first run through a game, so it has a special place in my heart. Number 1. Okay, let's be honest. I think anybody who was gonna watch this video knew what my number 1 Pokemon would be, considering that my channel name is named after it. Yes, of course, it's the disaster Pokemon, Absol. So Absol, I feel, is a very misunderstood Pokemon. See, every time Absol appears before people, it is followed by a disaster such as an earthquake or anything else. It was trying to warn the people, but because of it always appearing right before a disaster, people thought it was the disaster, and hence the disaster Pokemon. I think we have all felt a little misunderstood in our lives. Not only that, Absol also kind of sounds like my name, and that's another reason why I liked it. I definitely use Absol in every playthrough I have to Ruby and Sapphire, and I will definitely use him in the remakes for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Definitely the coolest in my opinion. It deserves my number 1 spot, but I think everyone knew that it was going to be it when they watched this video. So anyways, thanks for watching everyone, and peace out.